What up, dudes and dudettes? This is obviously your guy, Light here as always, and today we're gonna be checking my top 10 most underfarmed airdrops, because a lot of the people on YouTube and especially on Twitter tend to talk about the same stuff over and over again, whatever it's GRVT, Drift, MarginFi, Camino Finance, Parcel, or Grass Protocol, which has already over 500,000 users by now. These are over-farmed airdrops, and a lot of the people got earlier than you did, or they have a referral network behind them, or they have more money than you, so you're not in a good position of making a considerable bag using these very over-farmed airdrops. And when a protocol has over 100k users or something, that just means that they can leave out the little guys from the eligibility list. With lesser users on certain protocol, definitely they're not going to be as picky with the qualifications. And that's a very important thing that you need to understand here, is that it's not always on your benefit to farm these things that are over farmed. And that's why I decided to do this extempore list of 10 different entries. But let's get started without further ado. So one of the things that obviously a lot of people are talking about is Eigenlayer. We have a specific video about all of the liquid restaking platforms. We have specific videos on Renzo and EtherFi, for example. EtherFi has 2.7 billion. Renzo has 1.34 billion on TVL. Puffer has 1.2 billion. But when you actually get into the bottom, you have very underfarmed. We have Restake Finance, 12 million, Claystack, 8 million, Inception LRT, 1.2 million, and Genesis LRT, which is a lot more newer, doesn't even have 1 million. So the bottom four here are actually really good options. Even actually everything down from Eigenpie, I would say, are really underfarmed still. Well, Swell technically isn't because they're doing other restaking, but anything below the bottom six are quite underfarmed, and that's why I decided to talk about two of them specifically on this list. One is Claystack, which is the third lowest with 8 million only locked in. But when you actually look into the investors behind the project, we have Coinbase Ventures, we have Animonica Brands, we have Spartan, Defiance Capital, and Hashed, and Solana Ventures. So we have very high-end investors here, and it's mostly assumed that this is going to be listing on Coinbase, which is a very bullish signal for the eventual token. But only 12 million currently exist locked in to the Claystack protocol. And let me actually log in here to the actual platform so I can show you how does it look like. We have talked about Claystack on a couple of other videos before. Currently, they are supporting a couple of different options here, including Polygon, Aptos, and Graph. But we are doing Ethereum because that is the only one that's going to be getting you Clay's tokens by staking. So that's a very important point you need to understand here. Now, you are going to be getting a set amount of points based on the Clay Ethereum that you have staked in. I think for some reason it's not showing up my current network here. Let me try to put it to Ethereum and refresh this here. But I do have Ethereum. I have one Ethereum here right now, I believe. And they do have a referral program also going on, which will be getting you 10% of all the people that you refer in. And it's pretty simple process. You just have Ethereum, and right now the gas fees on mainnet are really low. So staking is actually pretty good. There doesn't seem to be any DeFi opportunities with Clay ETH as of right now, but I'm actually working on a Twitter thread, which I'm going to be posting today, later on my socials, which will go into a lot of this Eigenlayer point farming. But Claystack is a great opportunity to make money, given to the fact that, yes, they have so big, companies behind them, and their TVL is so low compared to 2 billion. Was it 2 billion with, EtherFi? So that's a huge difference, guys. Huge difference. So you're early here. And also, it needs to be said that there might be criterias for the airdrop. They say that they are giving only points by Ethereum, but who knows? You might be getting points by staking these other things at here as well. Moving on, we have Inception, and this is obviously the other one. There doesn't seem to be like massive stakers, or companies that have engaged with them, but one of the good things or benefits here is that there's a lot of different supported tokens currently on their repertoire. And I personally used FX It doesn't really matter which ones you use. I think they're mostly the same. It's kind of more like a philosophical position. Do you want to support centralized tokens like Rocket Pool and Lido, or Coinbase, or are we just going to be using something else entirely? So yeah, this is the interface. There's no referral program here. It's going to be coming out later. You're going to be getting 20%. And yes, with both of these, you are going to be getting Eigenlayer points on top of their own tokens as well. And my strategy kind of has been to basically participate on all of them, some with higher backs than the other. And I think that's seemingly going to be very good working strategy, especially if we compared, if everybody's going to be using the EtherFi model. But let's move on. Then I decided that I wanted to add one Solana entry on this list because earlier in the beginning of the video I talked about all of these Solana dApps which are extremely overfarmed because there's much more easier to Cybele on Solana and obviously do like dummy accounts. Everything is so cheaper. So a lot of Solana things are actually quite overfarmed. But Sega is actually a multi-chain. The TVL is only 14 million. And this has a lot of different types of... First of all, we have Solana, Arbitrum, and Ethereum. And these are very risky also. Like, you might lose the money. So this is like dollar cost averaging. A lot of these, well, not actually. Forget that I said that. So it's like different types of DeFi options which are using yields underneath. And there's pretty much a breakdown into what exactly is happening behind the strategy, what is the underlying asset, and how is this vault basically working on. Sometimes you might lose money with vaults, so that's something you have to think about. This is like big brain DeFi stuff, and you gotta think about a little what you're gonna be engaging in. And obviously my strategy would be to basically try to interact with all the other chains, so Solana, Arbitrum, and Ethereum, try to do entries on some of these things. Right now, they don't have that many different options for Solana, though, sadly. But there still is a couple of ones. So, for example, here we have a Solana entry. So, in case you want to do it on Solana. But this is a one that I do think that are probably going to be doing an airdrop. It's not the most underfarmed thing, obviously, out there, but it's relatively underfarmed because it doesn't have referral links, so a lot of people haven't really talked about it that much. Then we have a couple of bridge options here. We wanted to add options, obviously, here because Layer 0 is overfarmed. Obviously, Wormhole had a lot of users. So, and most other things like use like socket technology, a lot of wallets use it for swapping. So a lot of the wallets, the bridges are using similar technology underneath. Retro Bridge is actually a pretty good service, and they have currently a sunrise journey going on. And this one actually only has 5,000 people who have minted out this NFT. And there's going to be more of these quests. Sunrise Journey is the first one. You can still basically mint it, but not at the same price. It's $2, guys. It's pretty much nothing. And you just need to do, I think, 3 bridges, essentially, and do the socials, and you will be getting this NFT. And that's going to be one of the big criterias, and obviously the overall activity. And the overall accounts participating here is 14,000. That's not really that much when you think about it. So, because bridges are used quite a lot, matter of fact, especially these which are allowing you to bridge between different chains. So, it's still very early, given the fact that only a third of the people have done the actual NFT. But I think both are going to be part of the criteria. So, I think definitely Retro Bridge is a great entry to try out in terms of the bridges. Then we have XSwap, and this is powered by Chainlink CCIP, and it's also by some incubation, Chainlink build, some type of incubation project or accelerator, whatever you want to call them. And this is also, in my opinion, quite low. I don't have many points. I'm like 2,000 here, which means that there's maybe 5,000 users on the platform altogether, maybe a bit more. And what you can do here is swaps between different chains. Right now we have Avalanche, Arbitrum, Base, Polygon, Optimism, and then obviously we have a bridge feature as well, which works throughout the same chains. Pretty simple. There's also a referral program, which is going to be giving you a bonus, and maybe part of the criteria might be Chainlink stakers or something like that. I did mention that on a recent video. Maybe I'm reading more into that. The Pyth staking has become a bit of a trend, and other types of stake drops with Polygon, so that might become more of like a thing and a meta. So I'm interested to see will that be basically coming out. But yes, that's not very super overfarmed project either. And Chainlink is a very powerful project, so adjacent projects to that are quite interesting. Then I wanted to feature a couple of derivatives options here, and because there are a lot of derivatives obviously being talked about. We talked about GRVT, we talked about margin fee, Camino Finance, Zeta Markets, a lot of overfarmed derivatives, but there are a couple which are not as overfarmed. One of them is KiloX, a perpetual DEX by Binance Lab, so that's a bullish signal here altogether. There's pretty clear airdrop criteria and what are going to be the pointing system, so trading on a daily basis is going to be getting you points, and the amount of the trades, then you're going to be getting also points from your referrals and invitees, which are the same thing by the way. And there's obviously a couple of different chains that are being added here, and then there's lucky draw which you can use, and there's going to be 20 points which it costs, and well, we just lost points, but that's a very nice one. And then there's OATs which you can basically get, and I think I went through this list here, or at least I saw the list earlier, like total list. Can we actually see how many people? So 27,000. I'm probably saying there's maybe 30,000 accounts here or something like that, maybe a bit more. It's not really that much because usually these derivatives platforms have a lot of accounts. People are multi-accounting and things like that. But KiloX definitely in terms of the TVL is not really that high compared to a lot of the other derivatives out there. And obviously I didn't want to include like very, very low liquidity dexes because those can be problematic. Then there's another one which is even smaller, called Perennial Finance. This is on Arbitrum, and they are giving you, by the way, Arbitrum rewards by participating on here. They also do have a leaderboard here, but it doesn't actually like state out points. So I think there's going to be some type of airdrop thing. Reason why I wanted to include this here is because they have raised $12 million. That is quite a lot of money, more than a lot of the other derivatives and perpetual platforms. But only 4.2 million are locked in terms of the TVL on this platform. So it's not very super overfarmed project. And oh yeah, I wanted to say on the KiloX, there's only 13,000 users based on one chart that I was actually looking into, now that I remember about it. But let's get here on the stats, I think. So new users is only like, there's not, as you can see, like the vaults and everything, like it's not like a huge spike in terms of exposure and funding and balances. So not that far. But yeah, Perennial Finance, a lot of money behind it. So that's why I'm bullish. But that doesn't mean that they're going to be doing an airdrop. They might be doing a token sale. We don't know. But it doesn't hurt to try it out. It doesn't really hurt it out, especially when you're going to be getting Arbitrum rewards, top of that. And let's move into our last three on the list. Now, I went through a lot of lending protocols, and I noticed a lot of them like have 100 million, 50 million overfarmed because they're very easy to do. But you always got to be really careful about lending protocols. Like there are a lot of ones that have 1 million or 500,000 in there. And I'm very scared about usually depositing there because you might not get the liquidity out if people are going to be fucking up with the borrowing things, or people are going to be using exposes on the system. So that's why I decided to use something a bit more on the middle, not like the most lowest one, but not either the biggest one either. And Flux Finance, I believe, has 20 million only on liquidity, and they are actually backed by BlackRock, Clear Street, Coinbase, Nav, big things behind it. And they have the Undo Finance, which is their token, but they do have a point system. And that point system has to lead into something. That is going to be another Undo Finance token, or it's going to be Undo tokens that are going to be given out. Full disclosure, I did participate on their pre-sale on CoinList. Sold out most of my bags, made a good 10x or 8x. And this also gives you like free points by signing in. So if you had like, and there are some region blocks and restrictions here, but yeah, some of the APYs here are not too bad, and the OUSDG is their own token, by the way. So this is another one that you want to try out, but it's definitely up in there. Is it going to be dropping? Is it not going to be dropping? So there's something that I'm gonna be thinking about. Then we have Soulflare, Solana wallet, and obviously we have talked about the multisig wallet like dsig and squad on the channel. I think those are prime candidates for airdrops, and obviously Phantom. Everybody's talking about Phantom, but nobody's talking about Soulflare. One of the things I noticed that Soulflare was one of the sponsors on the Solana Mobile 2, leaderboard campaign, whatever you want to call it, meaning that there's a very high chance that Soulflare is going to be doing governance token. The eligibility is most likely going to be doing swaps inside on the wallet and maybe staking. And we have talked about, Soulflare in the past, and I think it's a decent wallet. It's not as good as Phantom, in my opinion, but they do not have a token, and there's this sponsorship indication that they're going to be doing something with these people who are going to be participating, or they did participate on tier 1. So I'm pretty sure that there is going to be an airdrop coming out. A lot of airdrops are going to be coming out on existing platforms on Solana. So I wouldn't sleep on Soulflare, maybe install it on another wallet or something. And it's not too shabby of a wallet. And then lastly, I decided to add a one-man NFT marketplace to kind of give you some NFT stuff to do. And I chose Topaz. I talked this in a previous video, obviously, that a lot of these NFT marketplaces do not have to do an airdrop. And that is very clear. Some people are still talking about OpenSea doing an airdrop. I wouldn't count on it. We have Solana Art, we have Base Paint, we got Tensor is going to be doing an airdrop, and a couple of these are going to be doing airdrops this year, and that's exciting. And Topaz doesn't have that many users. Aptos is not as big of a chain compared to a lot of the bigger EVMs, and they have a point system, one of the very few ones in Aptos itself, and also there isn't just really that many underfarmed NFT marketplaces, in my opinion, which are guaranteed to drop. So I wanted to include one that has a point system, and it's pretty simple. Listing on Topaz, your NFTs are sold, you get points. Buying NFTs on Topaz, you're going to be getting points. Making collection offers above or near current top offer, and selling your NFTs on collection offers. And those are going to be giving you points. And these are based on the top 5 collections. Not a big fan of that system and model. LooksRare was kind of using it. And right now we got Buff Beers, and we got Aptos Creatures, Pontem Dark Ages. I actually own one of these. I got them one for 25 Aptos. And Pontem is probably going to be doing an airdrop of their own. Something to think about. And then there's the Aptomingos. But those are pretty expensive. And these are very expensive too. But that's pretty much it, what I have to share for today. There's obviously the airdrop spreadsheet, which gets updated. There's also version 2 coming in under the new airdrop Recon brand that I've been working on. So there's going to be probably a spreadsheet that gets updated by multiple people, and more frequently the layout is going to be on a different site. It's going to be different, that we're going to be seeing how people are going to be reacting to it, but I'm excited about it. And it doesn't mean that this is being unupdated right now. I'm just going to be adding more updates, but I'm kind of working on a lot of the new brand stuff and giveaways and airdrops to that platform as well. But I bid you farewell, guys. A lot of videos coming in, airdrop related and non-airdrop related. And just keep grinding, guys. And the rewards will come after hard work. I do really believe that. But thanks for watching. I will be seeing you in the next video when it will be dropping out. Cheers.